live in Herkimer County. This is In the Pocket News. We're here live in Herkimer County at the BigFoot Pocket. Today, we're going to take some time and get up in the BigFoot Pocket and explore for the first time in weeks. Some of the different areas inside the pocket are still producing crystals. The back areas, specifically, way back there, about 7 feet into the earth. You can see here, I've gotten up in there and I'm piling stuff out of the back portion of the pocket. And you can see all the way back there, it's still going. Still going. Quite a few crystals have come out of this pocket, or cave, this cave. Up here in the front area was a collapsed pocket. Here in this front area was another collapsed pocket. And it was just a big donut. You can see the middle of the donut. So this is the doorway leading in, which is pretty large. Doorway, largest pocket entrance I've ever had, and the deepest pocket I've ever dealt with. Got pretty far into this. You can see how we kind of went in here, and from above I knew that this pocket was here from the sound of it and the way that this rock was reacting. There's a piece of Druse here or a little tiny crystal where my boot swiped it. A little tiny something. Okay, so take a look around in these tailings here, just right outside the pocket where some stuff was getting thrown and where we separated a lot of roots. A lot of roots led into this pocket along this line and in through there, and calcite clusters, calcite just everywhere, large fist-size clusters of calcite. And if anyone is interested in any of the cooler pieces, some of them are really beautiful and have Herkimer quartz crystals embedded in them, larger ones. Just gonna take a look around in this stuff here. Here's a piece of calcite crystal. Here's a very tiny crystal, very tiny. I'm not going to look in the tailings for too long, but there are some tailings areas that I want to check just because it's rained and I haven't checked them in a few days. So that's a little tiny one there. And there's a safety meeting. There's leftover left there for the Faeries. I'm just looking around in this pile of stuff that we threw out of this pocket, and it's rained, and I've walked around on it and swiped some of it with my boot, and I'll look in the walkways. And right where the rain comes down in the wall. And we form tailing piles everywhere, and they have a certain system of how they're applied to the mine area. So I have to go around and make sure that system is working and collect anything that that system reveals. Here's a little something that's too small to pick up. Here's one in the walkway that a boot swiped. Can't tell how big it is yet. I was probably climbing up this part of the mountain and just swiped my boot across that. It just showed just a little bit of the face. That's what you're looking for. Just a little bit of the face. It's not gonna, sometimes they are just crystals just sitting there as clean as they can be on the top from the rain, especially the heavier ones. So just in a couple, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. There's gotta be more. Let me know if you see anything. Here's one in the walkway, 2 in the walkway. Sometimes the walkways are a little hard to get them out of because it's all squished down. But I'm more looking for the bigger ones that might just reveal just a little bit of a face maybe that we threw out of the pocket. I'm gonna rake these tailings a little further down later today because they've been raked and shaped, and they've been sitting there for a while, and now they're starting to grow some little plants. They got to get raked again. Displace it all, let some more pop out. Okay, I don't really see much in this area, but it's pretty compacted. There's a little one right there. Little tiny one. Yeah, tiny. Okay, let's go to a different area. This is just my walk around. I do this every day. I just walk around and look. It gets kind of wet overnight, even if it doesn't rain really hard. It still washes off some of the little faces. Changes things a little bit. Some animals, maybe some deer cruise around, kick some stuff up. Who knows? A bear? You never know. But mostly the rain cleans it off, and then you go around, and the light is a little bit different on different times of the day. So you might see a little flash of the face. And then I go around and I change them. Kick them around, and then let it rain a little bit more. I'll pick some stuff out of them. But they all kind of generally have a shape, a way of being. There's a system to it. We've all seen far away pictures of step mines. It's just a little version of that. Then I take some nice pieces of Druse or some matrix pieces. I'll just put them out for the rain to wash off. That was just filled with mud. I didn't know that was in there. I had a feeling, but I wasn't sure. I try to use as little water from the spout as possible. Okay, so here's a different area. Here's some Druse just laying here. Some little micro Druse. Cool, but nothing too crazy. Just cool. All right, I haven't really poked my head into this little test hole in a day or two. See if anything's worked itself out of the wall or fallen or collapsed. Some crystals out. Maybe. Okay, let's go look where we threw. I was finding some cool stuff in here as I was throwing it over here. That's a nice Druse cluster. As long as you leave good stuff for the Faeries to find, they'll leave stuff for you to find. A lot of mining cultures in the world, especially in the Middle Eastern mining culture, Afghanistan, Pakistan, they all consult Morocco, African mining. They all consult with a shaman almost every day before they go into the mine, so that they will ensure the fact that they will come out of the mine. So they go and they talk to the shaman, and the shaman talks to the fairies for them. And he gives them some stuff. He does some interesting things that the fairies enjoy. And that ensures that the miners find the things that the fairies will leave behind. And that happens all over the world. It's not just one culture. It's not just here at Rock and Roll. It's all over the world. One interesting way to find out about the different mining cultures in the world, I know you're here to find out about Herkimer diamonds, maybe. And this might be the right place for that. But if you want to find out about mining culture around the world, I would suggest checking out Patrick Voilot's videos on YouTube. Patrick travels the world and visits mines and talks to people that work in those mines. There's two right on this line, right here, right where the water would come down. I think I just found something there. I don't remember. That's one broken piece, it looks like, and one nicer small crystal. Patrick Voilot goes around the world and talks to miners and goes into mines that no one else has any access to. And he makes these awesome videos, movies, documentaries. They're not really like a YouTube. He's not like a YouTuber, he's like a documentary filmmaker. And does an awesome job. And he gets to have experiences that a lot of people in the world can't have at these mines. He has access to mines that no one can get into. And he's been doing it for a very long time. And he also meets with the shaman and appeases the Faeries in several cultures, which is amazing. So across the board, he goes around the world. But the number one thing that remains consistent is that the miners consult with the shaman. They're all mining different things. They come from different religions, different cultures. But they talk to the shaman. The shaman talks to the fairies. So I have to be a shaman. Studying up on it. Reading up on my appeasing the fairies. I brought the crystal tube, but I don't think it's in my pocket. I think it's at the table or with all the other stuff. Yeah, so I'm just gonna hold them all in my hand for now. And I'm just looking around, just looking through the test dig holes, tailings, prospecting, tailings. Now I'm into prospecting tailings, not pocket tailings. So there's one. Oh, I dropped it. It went under my boot. I don't know where it went. It went somewhere down here. May have rolled right down my tailings hill. Oh, here's another one. Anyway, maybe I'll find that other one too. Or maybe I just stepped on this one that I dropped. I think I did. Feels about the same size. Maybe. You never know. You're just guessing at everything in life, you know? So we're gonna keep going. Guess at some other things. I just make it up as I go along, folks. little bit of experience can go a long way with making it up as you go along. Here's some Druse. Looks like a bunch of dirt. Looks like a bunch of dirt. Might even be like a clustery thing. I don't think that's even Druse. I think that's some crystals on some matrix or something. It's tiny. It looks like an alien wearing sunglasses. Okay, so hopefully that'll have some red hematite, some limonite. This is the starseed area. So hopefully this sunglass wearing alien head looking thing will be all crazy and cool and have limonite and hematite. Now I could just sit here and hypnotize myself with this all day. Okay, let's hide that. Hide that from yourself. Find more instead. Here's a small something. I don't know what it is. Oh, shiny something. I don't know. Must be a crystal of sorts. So you just get in here and you just mess it up a little bit more. There's one. Yeah, I think this test dig for these in the starseed area is producing. Pretty sure it's producing. Lots of nice baby gems, lots of nice pieces that are covered in the hematite, the red hematite. We might fill up the crystal tube in this area. This area does fill the crystal tube in a matter of an hour. I've filled it just in this one little area, which is why I've been in this area for several weeks. The more I drag these tailings from that starseed pocket area, I found a collapsed pocket is what happened, and I started throwing tailings and dragging them, and then I started finding like hundreds of these hematite and limonite coated and included Herkimer diamonds and Druse pieces, and I like the interesting stuff, you know. I like it when things are a little bit different. So I have a lot of interest in this starseed material because it's cool and it's different. It's not like your average Herkimer diamond clear material. It's got the hematite gives it some really interesting, cool pinks, reds. Some of it's like crimson red, blood red, all different shades of red in this hematite. And some of it's like purpley red. Some of it's black and red. And some of it is yellowy with the limonite and red. So it's cool. It's very different. Each one is all different. There's some red hematite flecks included in some of the crystals. I haven't seen it yet, but I think maybe we might run into some phantoms in them. That would be really cool. If I could find some. Here's what we found just in the walking around in the past. I don't know how many minutes. 10, 15 minutes. Looks like a bunch of dirt in my hand. But it's okay. It's gonna be fine. So we're in this tailings area, right? I'm gonna get my gloves. I'm gonna get the crystal tube. Look this way with the sun. See if I see any flashes. And this level of these tailings, I see some flashes, but they're very tiny. And I have a handful of crystals that are very tiny, so it's difficult to do the camera and grab the tiny ones. So if I see anything bigger, I'm gonna grab it. By bigger, I mean small. I haven't found any large crystals of this starseed material, but it's being epic with regards to hundreds of crystals are coming out of this. And a lot of them are similar in that there's a very tiny little gemmy one right there. I dropped a not gemmy one to pick up the gemmy one though. Okay, now I got them both. All right. We are gonna make our way back to all this stuff that I dropped off. That might be a good size one, or maybe it's just a barrel shape. It is a barrel. It is a little small barrel shape. Not totally uncommon, but over here in this area, they're getting kind of long, and they're also trying to do a scepter cluster thing on the end of them. And I support them in that. So they're getting a little elongated and clear. But then they're doing a thing where they're getting elongated and forming these little round clusters on the top of them, which might be secondary growth. Maybe they formed as barrels first, and then decided they wanted to be scepters. Later, they were like, I've been hanging out here as a barrel-shaped crystal for 100 million years. Maybe I want to be a scepter now. And then maybe, I don't know. I'm just guessing at all this stuff. Everyone is just guessing at all of this stuff. Don't listen to anyone that tells you that they know the definite truth about it. They don't. Herkimer variation quartz is different. It's not like a lot of other occurrences of quartz because of its age and because this part of the earth, about a 25-mile stretch of the earth, is older than the rest of it. They don't know how old. They're just guessing. 500 million. Okay. Nice number. Sounds important. Okay, so in an effort to keep it moving, I'm gonna keep it moving to a different area of the same test dig. Because I'm trying to figure it out. There's one shining. Sometimes you just gotta sit down. There's one shining right there. It's on a little bit of matrix. The rain washed it off. It's on just a little piece of matrix. Now I'm dirtying it up with my fingers. Well, there it is. Okay. We're gonna take that. This is not very stable over here. We're gonna put that right there. Okay, let's look down this slope of tailings. For shiny things, let me know if you see anything. I do not see any bigger ones. And that is what I'm interested in. I left the thing for the Faeries down there, but I don't think that they found that yet. So, we got some stuff down here. Let's figure it out. We're all the way down at the bottom. It smells like wild onions. But they're not really onions. Some little bitty Druse. But I like to appease my senses and find something. That way, I always stay positive. Like, look, there's a little Druse Vug thing. Found it. Great. Let's get out of here before we have a losing streak. I don't see much in this, but that's what test piles are for. And then you kind of do this a little bit after you looked through it. Kind of mess it up again. But try not to compact it down. Leave it fluffed. Kind of mess up that lip a little bit. Oh, look at that from a different angle. This piece got washed off by the rain. It looked like junk. Oh, that one's actually gonna pop right out. It was filled with mud. The rain came, and that crystal sat right there in its own bug, while the rain washed the rest of it. So you can see that the weight just held it there. All right, let's go back down to the bottom now that we knocked some of that out, just in case something big fell out. Just check. Make sure we didn't cover our offering. Good job on that. We want that to be there. I mean, technically it's a trap, because it's like, hey guys, hang out. Enjoy this and forget your crystals. Then all their crystals fall out of their pocket and they have a party and everything. And they're like, oh, the next morning, they're probably listening right now. The next morning, they're like, where did my crystals go? Well, guess what? I already had coffee. And I walked around and I found them. They don't mind. They got more. They never get mad. As long as you keep them happy, they never get mad. They forget. Short-term memory loss. All right, let's look down this. I don't see nothing in it. See some Druse way down there at the bottom that got washed off. I'm not messing with it. Here I stacked some stuff that I found up on this root, because I know this root's not going to go nowhere. I'm going to leave it there to hold some stuff up, but some stuff that I'm finding I'm stacking there, like a little table. And I came through here a little bit earlier. I didn't want to do it on the video, but I came through here a little earlier and did some work and opened up a level to drag, which leads over to this kind of cut a tailing road that I can drag and walk on. Look who's here. Okay. That's a pretty nice house you got there. I guess I'm not going to mess with your house. I was going to move some of that stuff around, but now I see you shouldn't probably do that, because you got a good thing going on there. Okay. Great. Nice to meet you. I'm Sean Adam, your host. And this is FROG. Radio Free America is brought to you by WROX. we report the frogs. Sean Adam, signing off. WROX.